Welcome to my channel, Making It Fabulous by Colleen. On this channel, you'll find inspiring, yes, you can do it, tips for makeup and skincare, as well as related content for anyone who wants to look and feel their best. Today, I'm going to do a full face of makeup from the drugstore. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Always Naked palette and several e.l.f. products, including their new face primer that includes SPF and their new lipstick. So if you're interested in learning how to get this look, please keep watching. Let's get started with our drugstore makeup look today. So before I started filming, I did put on the new e.l.f. Skin Primer. And according to the website, this says that you need to apply evenly and generously after the last step of your skincare routine, and you're good to glow, okay? And wear it with or without makeup. So we'll see how that works out. Obviously, it is very glowy. And it also says to allow the glow to set in for 30 seconds before applying the rest of your makeup. So it's probably been about maybe 2 minutes. So we'll see how well this works. I've used this a number of times and I really like it. And then I let that primer set in and I went in with just a really light layer of the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. And again, that is just to give it a nice canvas for our eyeshadow palette that we're going to be using today. And it is Wet n Wild Always Naked. So we will give this a try and see what it's like. I find that with drugstore eyeshadow, it can be a little on the patchy side. Perhaps the formula is not always fantastic. So I definitely want to make sure I have a really great canvas to start with. Okay, there is quite a bit of kick up in this powder, so we will do the best we can to not have too much fallout. I'm gonna first go in with this shade right here and pack it all over my brush and then put it right in crease. I am gonna go in with a little smaller brush to work on that outer V. So I'm gonna go in with not quite the darkest shade. I'm just gonna tap that in lightly and maybe put a little bit of this other color on. I'm just going to create a V, bringing it down into my lash line and then up into my crease. So you can see just a nice little flip it around, use whatever's on my brush. Yep, I'm already getting some fallout here. That's okay, I'll clean it up. It's one of the reasons I don't put my foundation makeup on first. A lot of people do put their foundation on and work on their eyes after, but this is one of the reasons, especially when I'm using drugstore eyeshadow, that I like to do my eyes first. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, I'm going to go in with a little bit of a smaller tapered brush and I'm gonna go into this orangey brown and just right in that corner pocket, I'm gonna put a little bit of this color and blend it in to further deepen that look. Okay, that's really pretty. So I mentioned in another video that this is kind of my side fun thing to do. I am the CEO of More Research and we're a market and opinion research company. So we find out how people think and feel about different products and services. And so I've always had a lot of opinions all my life, and I've always been asking lots of questions as a result of what we do at More Research. I'm now gonna go in with this shimmer shade. It's a little coppery, and I'm just gonna put that on the middle of my lid. Pack it on there really good. Using your finger, you can oftentimes get a little bit more pigment than you would if you were using a brush. Not always, but often. Just gonna put that right on the center. Another nice thing about these shimmer shades, oftentimes, like if you have any patchiness, covering it with a shimmer shade is really gonna help. Okay, so that's really, really pretty. Now I'm gonna go in with a different finger and put this lighter shade right on the inner part of my lid. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with this, whatever's left on the brush. I'm not gonna add any more. And I'm just gonna make sure that all of these shadows kind of melt together a little bit. Okay, that's real pretty, isn't it? I like it. Okay, I'm now gonna line my eyes. I'm gonna put a little bit of setting spray on. I'm gonna go into the deepest brown in this palette, pack some on my brush. It's a nice little tapered brush, great for lining. And I'm going to dip it into that and just line that lash. This kind of brush is great for getting tight into that lash line. And then I'm just gonna flick it up. So More Research, I was telling you, that's my main job. I'm the CEO, and would love for you to check out our website and perhaps participate in some studies. We work for a bunch of different types of clients, everything from startup companies to Fortune 500 and everything in between. Can earn a little extra cash and certainly have your opinions heard. Okay, I think that's really good for my top. I will next go in with the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara, and this is a sample that I got from Ulta, and I haven't used this yet. And I'm not gonna go in with any primer or anything like that so that we can see how well this performs. Usually, when you first open a mascara, it's quite wet. This is not very wet. I'm gonna have to look and see what the claims are on this. So for example, with More Research, one of the things that we might do is maybe a mascara product, for instance. And we would send you the product, ask you to try it for a certain period of time, maybe a week, and then fill out a survey, either over the phone with us or go online and do it. You would then get to keep the product, and that's it. It's really easy. Okay, this is going on okay. It's not fantastic, but it's really a nice light mascara. I certainly wouldn't say it's volumizing, but it's definitely not clumping. And now I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal True Match Nude foundation. It's hyaluronic tinted serum, and it has 1% hyaluronic acid. It does have a nice little dropper, so at least I prefer a pump, but it does have a nice dropper. Oh boy, look how that's coming out. That's interesting. Okay. I didn't get enough in my, I don't know about this. Kind of making a little bit of a mess below. All right, I'll just do this. And put a little bit on each side. See how well this blends in. And I'm gonna use this little sponge. I'll have that linked below. I got this on Amazon and it's really a lovely sponge. Okay, oh, that's going in nicely. Have you tried this L'Oreal True Match? There are a lot of colors that are available. So finding your true match, get it, shouldn't be too hard. Oh yeah, this goes in really nice, and it's really going well with that e.l.f. sunscreen primer. Really nice. Usually when I go in with a sponge to apply my foundation, I tend to use a little bit more than I would if I was doing it with my fingers or even a brush. So keeping that in mind in terms of how much I used for this. But boy, did that blend in nicely and very quickly. Okay, I could go in with a little bit more, but I think I'll just stop there. Next up, we have the Revlon concealer, and this is Skin Awaken. It is a 5-in-1 concealer, so we'll see how well this works. This is my first time using this. Just dab a few little and then push it in with my fingers. I like to do this, the heat of my fingers should blend this in nicely. Look and see how this is going. Pretty good. Okay, I don't hate that. I'm just gonna push that in with my sponge. I thought that this might be a little bit light for me, but it's really very nice. Okay, I've got a little sunspot, age spot over here. I'll put a little bit around my nose and a little bit up here. Okay, I'm really liking the coverage on that. What do you think? As I mentioned earlier, this is just something I like to do for fun. Oftentimes people will say, oh, you know, your makeup looks so great. I wish you'd show me how to do it. Well, I'm trying to do something combining both of the things that I love to do. And this is just so therapeutic for me. It's just very relaxing to put makeup on, and I really love it. So I hope that you like this channel, and if you do, please don't forget to subscribe and to like this video. Okay, I am going to go in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect. You can see that. Blur Out Powder. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on just to kind of set my makeup. Many people put two different powders on. One for their under eye and then another one for their face makeup. I want to be practical on this channel. I want to be providing you with everyday, normal people solutions. You don't need to use a bunch of them. You really, really don't. Okay, so that did do a nice job at blurring my wrinkles, especially on my forehead. I am 53. I'm gonna be 54. So I do have a fair amount of fine lines and wrinkles, and anything that can blur them is well appreciated. Now that the face makeup is done and everything is kind of blended together nicely, I'm going to go back to my under eyes, and I'm just gonna do a little tiny bit. I'm gonna go back with that little brush, that little tapered brush, and I'm going to mix. I don't want it to be quite as dark as the eyeliner on top, so I'm gonna mix the shade that I used on top with that transition shade that I used initially. And we'll see how well that works. I'm then gonna go and drag that up a little bit where I put that little wing and make sure that there's no harsh lines, that the bottom is meeting the top. Okay, now that the face makeup is done and my lower lash is done, I am gonna put on just a little bit more of the Milani mascara on my lower lash line. Although I like that concealer, I still see some pretty big dark spots underneath my eye. I don't like to use a lot, so it is what it is. This is my 54-year-old face. I'm doing the best I can, right? Let's go in now with the bronzer. And today I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear bronzer. And this is soft matte finish, waterproof, and it is in the shade, I can't see it, but I will link it. I don't even know why I bother trying to see it. I'm just gonna start right from where my ear and just go, not all the way down, just right to the bottom of my pupil. Ooh, this blends out really nice. I've used this one other time and I really like it. Might be a little low on that side, but that's okay. I'm also going to put a little bit on and pinch this together. Put a little bit on my nose. I do have a weird shaped nose. So I am definitely not a makeup artist or expert in this field, but I am an enthusiast. I like to try different things and to work with different techniques. So I think that looks really, really nice. I am gonna take that sponge and just go all the way around and make sure that there's no harsh lines. Now blush. I am going to use the Maybelline Master Blush Palette. I've used this a couple of times and I really like it. On the other one, I'm not going to use the pink one so that this is the peach color. I think that matches a brown eye just a little bit better. I'm just going to put it on the apples of my cheeks and work it up. Do the same thing on this side, apples of the cheeks, and work it up. And I like to make sure that the bronzer and the blush are kind of working together, that they're not fighting each other. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the highlighter using this brush from, again, Real Techniques. And I'm going to go in, tap that off, and just put it on the high points of my cheek. Just a little, don't want to get too crazy. I'm going to put it down my nose, give myself a little blessing, put it up there, my Cupid's bow, and that is it. Another thing that you can do is take that highlighter and just put it, run it, again, pinch your brush, don't need to use a million brushes, and put it on the high points of your eye, right underneath your brow. That just gives another lift to your face. Okay, kind of give an assessment here. Thinking that looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna do my brows. Next up is the NYX Lift and Snatch, and I am just gonna put a few hair-like strokes. That's the nice thing about this product. It has really nice hair-like strokes with this applicator. And I'm just going in to cover any patches with the spoolie and just make sure that there is nothing harsh, or this will help blend it. Just taking a little spoolie. Okay, the face makeup is done. Last but certainly not least is the setting spray, and this is the Wet n Wild Matte Finish. And I am going to pull my hair back and just, that has a interesting scent. I'm just going to let it dry down a little bit and then go back in with my sponge and press everything together. Do you need a setting spray? Not 100% necessary, but it does help to mesh, blend all of these products together and really melt into your skin. So just assess and see if there's anything else we need to do. I'm thinking it looks pretty good. What do you think? Have you used any of these products? Do you like them? This is the first time using the Wet n Wild, and other than the scent, it's not a bad scent, it was just different. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. Now that the setting spray is on, I am gonna go in with the ColourPop lip pencil and just line my lips. The liner in a little bit so that there isn't, again, harsh lines. And then I'm going to go in with the new e.l.f. lipstick. Have you guys tried this one yet? It has a really nice packaging, little magnetic. This is a little bit light, so I'm glad that the liner is a little darker. Ooh, really light. Not sure I love the color. Okay, I think that the formula is really nice. So I'd like to try this formula in a different color. I think I might like it a little bit better. I think I'll put a little bit of gloss on and then I'll come back and share my final thoughts. So the stars of the show today, definitely the e.l.f. primer with SPF. I really liked the base that it provided. It doesn't really have that much of a color, a little bit, but it definitely melts into the skin quite easily. You can see that it provided a little bit, but I really liked it. I thought it was really nice. Definitely remember when you are putting SPF on, especially when it's in a primer, to make sure that you are using enough of it so that you are getting the benefit from the 30 SPF. If you just put a light layer on, you are definitely not getting enough SPF for your daily wear. So be aware of that and just make sure that it melts into the skin really nice. The Wet n Wild Always Naked palette, I really liked that a lot. I definitely am glad that I put a base, the primer as well as the powder on before going into this. And I really think it gave it a nice canvas to apply. The Milani Conceal and Perfect powder, I really liked that and can't wait to use that again. The e.l.f. lipstick, not sure I loved the color. I did put on a little bit of gloss, so if I hadn't had the ColourPop liner on, I think that it would be way too light and not great for me, but I do want to get this in a few more colors and see how I like the formula of that. The only thing that I'm not 100% sure on is the Revlon Color Stay Skin Awaken. I perhaps could have put it on a little bit heavier and I might have had a better outcome. You can still see quite a bit of my under eye and I don't love that, but like I said, it could have been my application. I was just kind of going in a little easy. So I do have normal to dry skin and I don't like to put too much on because it will get into the fine lines and wrinkles a lot easier. So that's why I didn't put too much on, but I will try it a little heavier the next time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, like and comment on this video. Perhaps head over to more-research.com and see about getting in a study. We'd love to have you and look forward to our next video.